Hi, Michelle here from Straw-Bearie Designs, and today I'm going to show you how to make some cute Christmas cards using a background that's a marble effect made with shaving cream. So here we go. Show you how to make some really fun background papers with shaving cream. You can do these by yourself or you could do these with a kid. I'm sure a child would really like them. And first thing is I went ahead and just cut a couple sheets of cardstock, just lightweight, cheap cardstock, into fourths so that I would have some panels ready to go. And now I'm taking some shaving cream and I'm going to add my shaving cream to the bottom of my cake pan. And I've got some food coloring here. I'm just going to take a few drops of food coloring, add it to my shaving cream, and I have a wooden skewer, and I'm just going to kind of mix this up a bit. Or you don't have to use the wooden skewer. You can use your fingers if you're doing it with a kid. That might be more fun. It is a little messy, so I would recommend that you have paper towels nearby, which I kind of forgot. I don't have any nearby, so it's a little bit of a messy project. Okay, so then you're going to take one of the panels that you've already created and you're going to squish it down into the shaving cream and pull it back up. And at this point, you're going to wipe the shaving. That didn't work. How did I do this before? Take a ruler and wipe the shaving cream off the paper. And you're left with this really cool marbling effect. Now let's make some Christmas cards with the backgrounds. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this kind of pinkish one and I'm going to make it 3 3/4 by 5 inches so that it can be a base with a border on a standard 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card. I'm using my ATG gun here, and my ATG gun is giving me problems today. I think the adhesive's old. I buy it in bulk and then use it. I think that one might be a little bit old. Anyway, I'm adhering this pink border to the back. Now I'm taking some of the green and I'm cutting it into a triangle. I wanted my tree to be 3 inches tall, so I made my paper 3 inches tall to start with, and then I cut the triangle by lining it up with my paper cutter. You could definitely do this with scissors if you don't have a paper cutter. My ATG gun was giving me such problems, I decided to use some glue. This is just regular white glue, Elmer's glue, that I put into a little bottle. And now I'm using some sequins that I got from the Dollar Tree. They come in these little packages of about 4, and I've divided them up into different containers. And I'm going to just use my white glue and put a dot on the tree for where I want a sequin ornament to be. The stick that I'm using is a wax stick. I bought that from China off of Amazon. It was only a couple of dollars, but it makes it much easier to pick up sequins and set them down. You definitely don't have to have this. You could just use your fingers. And in fact, the first time I wanted to do something like this, I was putting rhinestones on one of my shoes, and I just used a birthday candle because that's what I had, and it worked too. Just where I was holding the candle, it kind of started melting in my fingers. And once I have all the sequins on as ornaments, you can see that my first card is complete. And I think that it looks pretty cute. This could be something you could do with the kids, or you could do by yourself as an adult. And there it is. Voila! For my next card, I decided to make it a horizontal card, and I went through the same steps. I cut out paper into triangle shapes to make Christmas trees, and this time I put a green border at the bottom to act as grass, and I tied a pink ribbon around the bottom where the trees and the border meet, just to kind of tie it together a little bit better. And I am again putting sequins on This one I'm only using silver sequins on my trees, and about 3 ornaments per tree. Looks pretty good. And I love the way the pink and the teal kind of looks together on this tree. I think it's a really cute, different colors. And you might be able to hear Ranger barking in the background. He just came inside and he's always wants to be in the center of attention. For my third card, it's almost exactly like my second card, except I used a piece of silver glitter cardstock in between the trees and the grass at the bottom to separate the two. For my fourth card, I'm doing something a little different. Here I'm taking some stamps. These are made out of craft foam. I have had these for 15 to 20 years. They were only a couple of dollars when I got them, and they have lasted me a long time, so you don't have to spend a lot of money to do this. I'm using some green ink on a stamp pad. This is a Studio G ink. It is a pigment ink. Pigment inks take a little bit longer to dry, so you need to be careful that you don't smear it. But in this case, I'm going to do some heat embossing. If you don't have a heat embossing, it's definitely a step that you don't have to do. So I'm stamping the word joy on my cardstock, and I got a little smudge there, but I'm going to take care of it later. And I have some Rainbow Sparkle embossing powder that I'm sprinkling all over that, tapping off the excess, and then wiping the excess on that smudge. Then using my heat tool, and that melts the embossing powder into the ink, and it also dries everything completely. And now my joy is nice and sparkly. I cleaned up the excess by putting the powder back in the jar, and now I'm cutting joy out into the shape of a tag, just using my scissors there and a hole punch. And I'm going to take my same ink, and I'm going to rub it along the outside edges. This is going to give it a little bit of dimension, and it's also going to hide the fact that I kind of smudged it a little bit earlier, and I can kind of smudge it on some other places to make it look a little bit more purposeful, but I think it does give it a little extra dimension and looks good. Now I'm going to take some baker's twine, which is from Dollar Tree, comes in a package like this, and I'm going to take the red and the green, and I'm going to make sure, of course, that that ink is dry on the edges, and then I'm going to take my red and green and I'm going to tie it in a bow on my tag. I have also used double-sided foam tape to put the joy down to give it a little bit more dimension. Cut off the little tails on my bow, and this card is done. Very cute, very simple design.
So these are the 4 cards that I've made today out of the backgrounds that I made with shaving cream. They were a lot of fun to make. I have a lot of backgrounds still left, so I can make a lot more cards. Please like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, tell your friends. And in the comments, if you would please tell me if you prefer voiceovers or if you prefer me talking as I'm doing the craft that I'm doing. Anyway, thanks for watching Straw-Bearie Designs, and have a great day.